The new Dodge GLH is an upcoming hot hatch from Dodge that will be out before the 2030 model year. But will it be great, or a repeat of the failure that was the Dodge Hornet that just got discontinued? And the questions I have about the particular vehicle is, what engine will it have? How big will it be? And will it truly feel like a Dodge or a European interpretation of Dodge? Well, what if I told you I have a pretty good idea what this new hot hatch will be based off of? And let's see whether the GLH is going to basically go like hell in terms of sales or go like hell in terms of failure. Okay, well, we're 56,000 friends. Let's get right into this because the new GLH from Dodge could be something that makes or breaks the brand. The Hornet came, it saw, and it was basically discontinued just recently, which was the blame because of the tariffs. But we really know the reason why is because it just wasn't selling and people did not resonate with it. Now we had a new Charger that basically became an electric car disaster. Now a 70K 6-cylinder kind of disappointment because it's not really selling that well. And the current Durango is really the only thing that is keeping Dodge in everyone's good graces right now, because that one particular model has 5.7s, 392s, and Hellcats that is keeping that brand afloat and keeping people pretty much satisfied. So there are a lot of new things riding on this new hot hatch from Dodge succeeding. And I don't know if Dodge can actually succeed going forward to keep introducing failures. Ever since the Challenger Charger went out of production, the Hornet came and it failed. The new Charger is like we kind of like it, but nah, not really and stuff. So a lot is riding on this new particular vehicle. So the question now is, what do we actually know about the new GLH? Well, the only information we have to go off of is from scattered piece of information from Investor Day when they first showed it off. But what we do know is it's going to be based on Stellantis' new, cheaper architecture. They're trying to pare things down, which was like, I could have sworn during EV Day, when it showed up all the different platforms, that everything's supposed to be pared down anyway to make vehicles even cheaper and stuff. But apparently now it has to be pared down even more to this whole new STLA 1 platform. Whatever, I'm going to go do some more digging information about that. But we know it's going to be on a new STLA 1 platform. We know it's supposed to be targeted in the 30K range, which would be right there, a little bit cheaper than the Hornet was. So we'll have to see whether or not it's going to be actually something where this new GLH is going to be suffering quality-wise or not. It's something we got to figure out. But all thing we really know is it's going to be smaller than the actual Durango that's currently out right now, and that it will have an SRT variant for the GLH version that's going to be for Dodge. And we also know that from journalists and stuff that there's also going to be a sibling to this car in the Chrysler Airflow that is also coming to that branch. Chrysler is also getting some more vehicles coming, like the Arrow and the Arrow crossover, which I found out looking through a few things. That's essentially basically a rebranded Fiat and Fiat crossover. I think like Grizzly, whatever they call the vehicle. So what you don't really realize, I don't know if people have been paying attention, that in order for Dodge to get new products in the future, they're going to be brand engineered vehicles, meaning that vehicle is going to exist somewhere else and then be brought over Dodge and be re-engineered for Dodge. That's essentially what the Hornet was, where it was basically an Alfa Romeo Tonale and re-engineered for Dodge, and we all saw how much of a great car that turned out to be. But I think I know for this particular image right here what the new GLH will be based on. Now, if you look at this silhouette, it looks very similar to this one right here I saw during EV Day back in 2021. The main telltale sign of these two vehicles right here, this new GLH and this one right here, is that the wing on the back end of that car. Those look very, very, very similar. If you don't know what this particular vehicle is right here from EV Day in 2021, that became what we all know now as the Wagoneer S, that you never see driving anywhere because no one really likes that car in the wild. And that is, I think, what Dodge is going to get for the new GLH going forward, a redesigned version of the Wagoneer S that was basically electric only, but I think Dodge is going to get a gasoline version of that particular model. So I think that basically we're going to see maybe a budget version of that model for Chrysler, maybe have the smaller Hurricanes in there, and then for Dodge, we'll probably have like the more intermediate size Hurricanes for that particular model, and for SRT variants, we just had to wait and see. But this makes a lot of sense to me because a ton of money was wasted on the Dodge Charger Daytona and the Jeep Wagoneer S platforms, and both those vehicles have been sales disasters. So what better way for Dodge or Stellantis or Chrysler or Jeep, whoever, to recoup money from that failed product and basically do it with taking the same bones of that vehicle, do some little changes to it, doing sheet metal changes, and put it into different brands that need smaller SUVs that they don't currently have. Jeep has so many SUVs, I think they can afford to lose a couple of them, and the Wagoneer S should be one that Jeep should afford to lose. Now, if they base these particular GLH and the new Airflow off the Wagoneer S, the beautiful thing about that is they can quickly bring this vehicle to market, and hopefully we'll see it sometime soon, because Dodge has already kind of hinted that there are going to be some new things coming at Roadkill Nights of this year. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that we could see a brand new Dodge vehicle coming to Roadkill Nights if it's based off an existing vehicle. So if it's based off the Wagoneer S, like I said, that vehicle's already made in Mexico, which means there's already tooling set up, there's already workforce that already knows how to build a particular vehicle. And so that just means that just a few little tweaks here and there, an engine swap in there, and they should be able to make a vehicle like this in the next year or two, right? So it wouldn't be far-fetched to me to see that we're going to see this particular vehicle, maybe like a concept version of it at Roadkill Nights or sometime later this year, and maybe come out sometime next year. I think I saw on Car and Driver that they expect this car to come out sometime in 2028. So 2028 as a 2027 model year car, we'll probably see it sometime either later this year or sometime next year for it to come out as a 2028 model. Now, this makes a lot of sense to me, the GLH being based on the Wagoneer S, like I said, because if you look at it compared to the Hornet, if you look at the size comparison, going this route will make the GLH a little bit bigger and a little bit wider and a little bit taller than the Hornet, giving more people more room for the particular vehicle. And the Wagoneer S already has kind of like a very sporty appearance, and more importantly, is based off the STLA large platform, which basically means, like I said earlier, you should be able to see a wide variety of engines in the particular vehicle. From, I think, in the 4-cylinder Hurricane version, where I think that new engine is inside the new Grand Cherokee that's about 300-400 horsepower. Then you can get the inline 6 versions of that particular engine. That should be able to go into the particular vehicle, because the Wagoneer S is kind of loosely based off the Dodge Charger Daytona. They both share very similar motors and platform and stuff, and they're both still large. So we should be able to see the high output Hurricane and the regular output Hurricane. So we could see a 550 horsepower version of this particular vehicle. But I think in order to make the GLH successful, they more importantly have to put a Hemi in the particular model. I don't think Dodge can afford to have yet another vehicle fail because it has an engine in there that people just do not like. I think, to me, Dodge would be very smart if at the very least they put either a 392 SRT or maybe even a Hellcat powered version of the particular hot hatch in their lineup. I think that'll make this vehicle more appealing to a lot more people, because the Hurricane engine that was in the Hornet left a lot to be desired. I test drove a Hornet for a while because Dodge let me drive one. I mean, it's okay if you want to go for the commuter style and something that people can get around and don't really spend a lot of money on gas, but it was way too expensive and it's not really the gateway to muscle. There's nothing muscly about a Hornet. So I hope that now that Dodge is kind of saying what Rita Kuniskis said, that this right here is like a way we should have done the Hornet. This is like the go like hell moniker, that I hope that it has more performance and more muscle to it. But it's going to be operating in a segment that doesn't really care about performance, right? No one really buys like a crossover SUV for it to be the fastest thing on the road today. So I think, if anything, if they're going to go that route of making a performance crossover that's going to have some performance to it, especially in the SRT model, it has to have a Hemi in there. It just has to have a Hemi. Like, I don't think that car is going to be very well received. It doesn't have an aggressive sounding Hemi powered engine in there. And I think, if anything, they made that particular vehicle, and it's basically the size of the Wagoneer S, literally the exact same vehicle but rebadged. I think a 700 horsepower version of the particular vehicle right here, I think that would be a very, very cool thing, that especially if they can keep the price low, I think it'd be a very good seller for Dodge. I mean, we've had Dodge tell us for years, and actually show us for years, that they was planning on making a smaller car, which Tim Kuniskis said, like right here,
embracing the brand's history while looking to the future.
And then he also said during Demon 170 reveal a few years ago that there are some new cars that they were supposed to be coming out with.
We haven't fully pulled back the curtain on this car, or maybe these cars, just yet.
So for some odd reason, this new smaller sports car, or let's say performance car, that Dodge was come out with never happened. And I guess it got canceled because of all the stuff's been going on in the background over the past year. And now with the announcement that basically Chrysler and Dodge is not going to get any real significant investment other than just rebashed, re-engineered vehicles. So I think that's why the new GLH is going to be what's going to come forward, because it's going to be based off another vehicle that already exists. And essentially like something like the new not the crossover, the new sports car or compact car or stealth replacement basically got axed, because I don't think Stellantis wants to take the chance of another model failing for Dodge. I mean, they already had, like I said earlier, the Hornet failed. They basically had a Charger not really selling well. But the real thing with both those vehicles is the Hornet just did not fit within Dodge, and it really made probably more sense within Chrysler. And then you have the new Charger. People who buy muscle cars want V8 engines in them. I don't know what better way to say this. No one wants a Hurricane powered muscle car. I think the same thing's gonna happen with the GLH. No one's really going to want a small, mid-sized SUV that doesn't have a Hemi V8 engine in there, right? If you see all the sales with the Durango, 5.7s, 392s are basically, people are starting to go and ask me a lot of questions about those particular models. And Hellcat variants, I think they moved that same thing down to a smaller vehicle that's newer, got better technology, and keep it right around a little bit cheaper than the Durango currently is now. I think Dodge has a winner on their hands if they go for the GLH like this. So hopefully, like I said, the GLH is going to be something that's going to be pretty cool and not a repeat of the Hornet. And hopefully it doesn't fail in spectacular fashion. But I don't think it's complicated, like I said, to figure out what customers for Dodge want. Something that's sporty, something aggressive looking with a big obnoxious engine in it to show off. No one goes to car shows and show off Hornets and Hurricane powered Chargers and stuff. People show off their Hemis because that's what us like, or that's what we like in the US. But I don't think this is going to be a very complicated thing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that my dear friend Tim Kuniskis and my dear friend Matt McClure have a very good success with this particular vehicle. And it'll be interesting to see when more information comes out about it, what this vehicle actually going to become. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys think the GLH is going to be a repeat of the Hornet? Or do you think it's going to actually be something that Dodge can basically hang their hat on and actually make a successful story with a particular vehicle? Do you guys think it's going to have just Hurricanes in there? Or do you think, just fingers crossed, that it could make a actual Hemi powered version of this particular vehicle that could check a lot of boxes for a lot of people? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And until the next time, I am out.